Hey, so, question: Are you one of the crazy psychopaths that actually watched Barbie and Oppenheimer at the same fucking time
I watched both of them. Yes. I
on
watched
the same day?
I watched Oppenheimer at 2:15 p.m.
Uh-huh.
It ended at almost 6. I got lunch and then I saw Barbie at 8 p.m.
Was that enough time to like calm down from Oppenheimer and get ready for Barbie?
Honestly, Oppenheimer did not affect me emotionally as a lot.
Uh-huh.
Um, so it was good. I was good to go.
Jesus Christ. Respect you. I
Yeah.
want you to not respect you.
Great.
May-
Yeah.
Um, did I ever tell you when I saw The Dark Knight Rises for the first time, it was in a triple feature?
Yeah, you told me. Yeah.
That was a long fucking night. Great night, but a long fucking night.
Because I think the only time that I've done something like this is I saw when the second Hunger Games movie came out, they
Uh-huh.
did a thing where like they did the same thing. Like they showed the first one and then they showed the second one. And I
Fair.
did that. But I don't remember doing it since.
I,
Um
I remember I also did for the last Harry Potter film, they did the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and then they showed Part 2. But
okay.
it was like the Harry Potter Club of the RGV rented out an entire theater and I managed to
Mm,
get snag tickets. So it was a group of like 30 nerds that were hanging out doing giveaways and shooting the shit. It was awesome.
nice.
I wanted to do the eight feature where they did the first four films on one day and the next four films the next day, but the closest place that was doing it was Austin.
Jesus Christ. Um no, it's this was enough. This was fine. I'm also like my butt was gonna hurt if I stayed too long.
There,
Before we start, I wanted to bring something up if that's cool with you.
do it.
All right, so two things. One, I want to commend you for that video that you did on the strike for the channel. Because we didn't tell you to do it. You did it by yourself. You just posted
You
it because you wanted
you
to.
you kind of got me to do it. You were the one that was like, "We should talk about this." I was like, "You know what? He's right. We should."
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to bring up. I think well the writers union, the actors union has been really kind, and they dedicated a section of their website to the people who go online and talk about movies, and to let us know specifically that yes, it's okay if we still talk about movies. Like that's not something bad, but that the attention still needs to be brought to them. So I wanted
Mhm.
to propose something here. First, it was great that you did that video. I think everyone should check that out because you really summarize everything in a really concise manner. So that's really good. Um, I think until the strike ends, I
Mhm.
think while the strike is still going on, I think just in solidarity with the writers and the actors and everyone involved,
Mhm.
the bit before every episode, I think we should like do a quick reminder of what is happening and why it's happening, and
Mhm.
I think that's the most solidarity that we can show, because I mean we gotta still talk about movies, like that's our thing, but we gotta show
No.
respect to those people. So just a reminder, like everyone's probably already like aware, and if you've had your fit, if you had your fill and you're like, oh come on, I know about this, skip fast forward, like we'll get to talk about the movie, but this is important, and I think it needs to be addressed. So just a reminder: we stand with WGA, we stand with the Actors Union. We are with them. If I lived there, I would go and honk and everything, but
Mhm.
there's only so much that we can do. I would like, if it's okay with you, can we add like a link in the
Yeah, I don't see why not.
stuff?
I'll
Yeah,
add it.
just
I'll add it to the on the YouTube channel and on our podcast. I'll try to include a link there that we can kind of go to the same page to see what the issues are because there are important issues.
yeah.
This is the first time we're having a conversation about the topic. Do you want to talk about it right now? Like we can.
I
Like
mean,
we can
we
condense it.
just condensed, like the writer's strike is happening because the wages are not right, they're not appropriate, they are not coming with the rise of streaming, and sadly with the rise of AI, there is a very real danger that opposes these writers. They were not being compensated correctly. A lot of these writers used to make their money on reruns, and now that's kind of impossible with streaming. And there's also like this real danger of like a lot of media getting lost because there's no physical releases anymore, and some digital shows can be completely wiped out from one day to another, and they can be lost. And these are the livelihoods. These are their things. And if you've ever created art, you know that if it's close to your heart, and you won't do it for free, because that is the dream. Like, it is the dream to like live, like create art and live off it. So why wouldn't we support the people that are in charge of that? So my heart is with them. I support them wholeheartedly. If we have to get to a point where we have to review like books or video games, it's fine. I mean, if we go through like a 6 to 7, 8 month period where nothing new or good releases because of this, then so be it. As long as they get paid correctly, I'll use that time to go back to the backlog and see everything that I didn't see.
There's a big ass backlog of films that we never talked about. Like,
yeah,
I'm talking. We can go as far back as Men in Black, The Godfather. We can spend an hour every week to shit talking executives, because Lord knows I have plenty of ammunition. Also,
so a quick reminder that CEOs are not your friends, and they're not friends of mine. Yeah,
they're not friends. They are food.
Our friends are food. Go ahead.
Eat the rich. What's called? There is some positive news to come out of all this. A development that just happened today. So, as we know, there's the writer's strike that started, right? And then the actor's strike. And there was actually about to be a strike for UPS. I don't know if you know about this. Do you know about it or not?
I did. They're putting a 10-day strike?
They were, but management gave in to their demands. Already, they were like, yes, okay, what do you want? Because it was said to be I think they said it was going to cost them like $7 billion.
Can you imagine 10 days of no packages?
That's why they were like, yeah, we can't do this. So significant pay raise, and every single UPS truck will now be required to be fitted with an AC system, which, believe it or not, was not a requirement before.
Cannot believe that was not a requirement. Yeah,
and like they'll tell you, oh, it's because it's logistically they're gonna burn more gas, and they're always opening the door. And shut the fuck up. Like, I guarantee you, the low man on the totem pole at the local UPS works harder than the fucking CEO making $50 million a year. I guarantee you that.
Nothing but respect for my boys in blue.
I agree. So yeah, I mean, the fact that they give in, maybe that's a good sign that Wall Street's like, we can't, because also Netflix stock dropped, and so did Warner Brothers Discovery. They've already started to drop, so I think that's a good sign.
Pay your fucking writers. That's it. That's the bottom line. That's the end of the thing. And yes, if you think they're being annoying about it, we're going to be annoying about it as well. We're gonna be more annoying. We're gonna start and end every episode with this, because it's what we can do at the moment, and we're gonna share the links, and we're hoping that change is coming, and they best be ready for it. Gorillaz lyrics. Okay, so that's the issue of the strike.
You want to talk about Barbie?
Let's go, Barbie. Let's go party.
Oh god.
Let's go party.
Chema, hit the intro.
Thank you for welcoming us into your headphones. My name is Chema.
I'm Eddie.
Hi, Ken. And this is Barbie. She's everything, he's just Ken. Barbie and Ken are having the time of their lives in the colorful and seemingly perfect world of Barbie Land. However, when they get a chance to get to the real world, they soon discover the joys and perils of living among humans. So this is the new movie directed by Greta Gerwig, starring Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, America Ferrera, Kate McKinnon, Will Ferrell, and a bunch of other colorful actors are plays several versions of Barbie and Ken. This was written by Gerwig her husband, and also writer director Noah Baumbach. They've been a team for a long time, and this is a new collaboration that they've done. Greta Gerwig has kind of been rising in the indie scene with her A24 debut Lady Bird, and then big studio movie Little Women, and then now Barbie. Little by little, she's been getting the keys to the kingdom and just delivering masterpiece after masterpiece. And I think Barbie is like her most, I think, accessible movie, or like the movie that will be like the big money maker, because I think right now it's standing at like what, 400 million in like her couple of days.
Here, let me help you with this, Chema. It's made more money in the last 4 days than Black Adam did in 4 months. But yeah, I can take shots at myself. I'm secure. I am Knuff. Right.
You're yeah. So speaking of that, so I've been telling you for months that this movie was going to be existential as shit. That it was going to be like heavy. That the topics were going to be very, very intense. All of Greta's movies are about like the different dynamics between women. Like Lady Bird is about a mother and a daughter. Little Women are about the sisters. Frances Ha is about like friendship. And this one is about like the woman's place in the world and how they're perceived. And they're using Barbie as like a method, an instrument to tell this story. But it also is about like a lot of other heavier themes. So before we talk about the movie, I think it's valid to mention the fact that this was a fucking event. That yes, there is like the Barbenheimer thing, there is like the double feature thing, but dude, it's been not since like this whole year. I've been to the movies at least once a week this whole year. Like I've been to the movies so much. Mm-hmm. Only 3 times during the entire year have I seen it full, and that's for Mario, that's for Spider-Verse, and that's for this one. Mm-hmm. Just walking into the theater for this one felt like I was in a queue line for like a roller coaster. It was full. Well, damn. It was full. People were hyped. Everyone in my theater was wearing pink. There was so much hype. And also, like, I'll just point this out. I haven't been in a movie theater with so many women at the same time. like I just can't believe that it's happening. Like little by little, like it covered. And I love that this was a thing that happened because of us. Like the audience did this. Like Margot Robbie was not saying, "Hey everyone, come dressed in pink," or like Cinemark wasn't saying like, "Hey everyone, come dressed in pink. We'll give you a combo." Like nothing. It came from us because we wanted to, man. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was so neat. Like we kind of did the thing of like really well organized people. It just did something just because it was fun. Because it was fun. And that was half the battle, because the movie itself, I just needed it to be good, and I thought it was great. I had a fantastic time with Barbie. What did you think? I know you haven't had your fix of Greta before. This was your first taste of Greta.
Yes, it was. And Jesus,
what do you think?
She is a frightening director, because it is scary that she's not even in her prime. She's not. She is, and this is a compliment. And this is just a comparison. I'm not trying to say that like, oh, she's the female version of this director. I'm just making a comparison. She might be, and again, compliment, the female Christopher Nolan, because let me explain. He was doing great movies from the beginning. He's always done great films from beginning to end that were always hitting different spots, talking about different things that were always consistently great. I think this is her 3rd major motion picture. Like, she decimated it. She didn't kill it. She bombed it. And I mean that in a good way. But I'm just, amazing philosophical film about a fucking transformer, like a toy, a fucking Power Ranger doll. Somehow they made Barbie this deep philosophical film about what it means to exist. Because like and we'll talk about the story in a minute, but they didn't take any easy way out. they made an incredible film that speaks to damn near everybody. They never took a shortcut. This film really doesn't have a villain, even. Like it's just an exploration of the world, and obviously you and me are qualified to talk about this. Two, men in their late 20s are more than qualified enough to talk about the Barbie film and what it means to women. It's also crazy because this movie was meant to be a fuck you to Nolan. Did you know that?
Yeah, yeah. That it was released on the same day to fuck with him, which is weird because it failed because we saw that and we went, "Oh, double feature!" Like that's like, can you believe that? Like, it's
because they're so different. Like,
yeah.
On one side, you have a movie about like happy-go-lucky pink, or at least that's what you thought you were gonna get. And on the other side, the most devastating weapon the world has ever known. Like, the only way this could have been a better feature is if they showed Barbie, Oppenheimer, and then right after Oppenheimer, Godzilla, but the 1954 version.
The funniest thing because also like did you saw that the new Pikmin game came out like also on the same day?
No.
So yeah, Pikmin 4 came out also on the 20th. And people were saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna go watch Oppenheimer, then I'm gonna go watch Barbie, then I'm gonna go back home and play Pikmin 4." Like it's gonna be a whole deal.
Fuck it. If it works, man.
If it works, it works. Yeah, no, my big thing with this one, and yes, I think it's better if we approach this with what you just said. Yes, we are two dudes in our 20s. Is this going to connect with us the same way that it's going to hit with women? Obviously not. I'm honestly so surprised that every single person that walked into that movie came out with like the same thought. Like every girl left that movie thinking like, "Oh man, my poor mother." And then and then every guy just left that movie thinking, I should get a I Am Knuff sweater. What are they selling that?
Yes, I already ordered mine.
You ordered yours?
Yes.
Where did you order it from?
Etsy.
Etsy's fine. You're supporting an independent artist. It's fine.
Actually, if anything, I should dick over Warner Brothers by ordering all my merchandise from independent makers. You know what? Don't feel bad.
I mean, that's great. Yeah. And also because Warner Brothers sold out like immediately. But yeah, like immediately, like all of our collective thoughts were like, I should get an I Am Knuff sweater. Hell yeah. But here's the thing, and it's important that we talk about this because it is the central point of the movie. The movie presents the patriarchy in a very bare bones, like very direct kind of way. We have an expression in Mexico where, especially in Spanish, where if someone doesn't understand something and we get desperate, we go like, "Ay, te lo enseño con monitos," okay? Like, and it means like, do you want me to show you with dolls so you understand it? Yeah. This movie literally showed it with dolls so that we understood it. So if you don't, either you completely lack like literally analysis, or you just want it to be wrong, because I don't understand how much you wanted to explain it. This movie very directly shows the patriarchy exists. First of all, you have to accept that it exists. Second, it affects men too. It affects men in this way too, and that's why it's negative. So if you walk out of this movie thinking this movie hates men, fuck you. You did not understood it at all.
You need to take some philosophy classes and go back and rewatch this movie a second time, because oh god, this movie's outstandingly great about talking about hard issues. And I love the fact that they even acknowledge like some of the not bad bits, but some of the honest bits where Ryan Gosling's character, even Ken at one point goes up to I'm cutting into the story real quick. Even Ken walks up to a guy and he goes, "Do you guys patriarchy here?" And the guy's like, "Well, we do this, isn't this?" "Oh, so you don't patriarchy?" And the guy looks around and goes, "No, we still do that, but we have to hide it better now."
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, this is my theater was laughing like a motherfucker. I broke out. I was the only one that laughed loud, like ha, when Barbie stopped. And do you guys ever think of death? And then everything just stopped. It's like ha. Sorry. But let's start from the beginning. So the movie opens on stereotypical Barbie, Margot Robbie in Barbie Land with all the Barbies that do all the things. shout out to inclusivity. We have a wheelchair Barbie, or Barbie that happens to be in a wheelchair. We have a Barbie with a prosthetic, several different Barbies with prosthetics. There was a transgendered Barbie. There was a plus size Barbie. There was a Barbie that were of various ethnicities. Like, bravo.
Yeah.
In a non-condescending way, genuinely. Bravo.
Same thing with Kens. Like we have all kinds of Kens.
That's true.
They also come in all shapes or sizes. And the setup for the story is placed right from the start. What I like about this movie is that it wasted no time in getting you into the story and in getting you into the characters and the topics. The movie is it's crystal clear what they're trying to say. It's very direct. I like how there's a narrator, which is Helen Mirren. She narrates the whole movie, and she has this whole thing about like Barbie has the best day of her life every single day, but Ken only has a good day if Barbie sees him. And I went, oh my god, he's literally me. That's for real. That's yeah. No, but like it shows right from the get-go what Ken arc is gonna be. Because like the movie tells us directly that men deserve better than to live in the shadow of others and base their entire identity on either trying to impress or dominate those that surround them. Mm-hmm. It's very direct. That's what I got from the storyline. And as good as Margot Robbie is as Barbie, I hate to say this, but Ryan Gosling as Ken, one of the most incredible casting choices and decisions that have ever been made. This man was fucking hilarious. Like he took every single ounce of funny that he did in The Nice Guys and just multiplied it by 100. Every line that he would drop was so funny, and like his expression and everything. Jesus, like I was on the floor. This is like best supporting actor or something. Like
I was gonna mention that
contender shit. Like he's so good in like both the dramatic scenes and the funny scenes. Like even the way that he would say Mojo Dojo Casa House, I was like, God damn it, Gosling, you're it was so good.
I love how Ken, he's never ironic. We all buy into this film. There's never a point where I thought to myself, why the fuck don't they just take out their cell phone and call the cops? Or why are they, like, there was never a point where that happened. This film set the rules and they went with it. How do you get from the real world to Barbie Land? Well, you have to do this, and this. And they don't fuck with it. They're never like, oh, this is dumb. This would never happen. No, they just shut up and go on the journey. And Greta, from the beginning, made us trust her with that to go along with the ride. I love the fact that like this movie becomes an existential crisis from the very beginning. I was scared. I thought the film was going to be one of the following two things. One of the following things. So Disney, have you ever seen Disney Channel original films? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Are you going to mention Life Size?
Yes. I thought that's the one where the toy becomes real to help the little girl, right?
Yeah, with Tyra Banks, right?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to go something along that route where she has to help the little girl find her happiness, and then she learns something about herself and goes back. I thought I had the movie figured out in the first like 10 minutes. I was like, oh, it's one of those stories. Nope. No. And they didn't take the easy way out by making Ken the villain. We'll talk more about that later. But I love the fact that they did the hard thing and didn't really have a villain. They more talked about social issues. So Barbie gets flat framed and has to go to the real world to deal with the problem. And I remember seeing the pictures of Margot Robbie in like the Barbie outfit, like on the rollerblades and punching a dude in the face. I just remember thinking like, nice, like perfect. And I saw it in the movie and I was like, I remember this one. Nice. I had to ask, like, is this really a common thing where women get catcalled? Because I've never been around when it happened. I hate to say this. This is actually more common than I thought. Much more common than I thought. I didn't know that was a thing because I've never catcalled a woman in my life. I've never seen it happen in front of me. Yeah. But unfortunately, it is a common thing.
Yeah, it's freaking terrifying to be a woman.
Oh, and guys, don't worry. I'm sure if you see a woman and you think she's attractive, I'm sure saying, "Hey, baby, you want me in your pants?" I'm sure that'll make her want to sleep with you and have a relationship with you. I guarantee you, you want a woman to be attracted to you, get the loudest fucking car that you can wear, never shower, and never brush your teeth. I bet you she likes that, you fucking knobs.
As much as I love irony, I think the fact that, like I just said, they explained it with dolls and they didn't get it. I don't think irony is gonna be like. I think that's gonna work at this point if they're doing it directly.
Um,
Um, yeah. So I like how we got this very quick scenes of like they get to they get to the real world, they're rollerblading, they have the bright outfits, and then right from the get go, like Barbie just goes like, I feel something is off, something is weird, and Ken is like, something is awesome. People are looking at me. One woman even asked me for the time, and they have these scenes like they see this billboard of like Miss Universe, and they go like, oh look, the Supreme Court.
oh my god, that's right.
That was so good. She sees like this construction worker, so she goes like, "Oh, great, positive feminist energy," and it's like it's all men, and she's like, "That's weird. We usually don't let them work." And
But like also the writing in this movie, they just fucking it's something, it's like Elf. It shouldn't work, but it did because it's like you're right, slightly ironic, but also somehow like topical, but they're explaining it in such a way that, like you said, children can probably watch this movie and understand what they're talking about. Like, oh, I feel like unsafe, but like unsafe within my own skin. Like I'm conscious, but of myself. Like, oh god, like Greta. Look, and I know we're in the middle of a Barbie movie, but I'm going to go on record and saying this: if they don't have a director for the Supergirl movie, they need to get Greta. They need to get her, give her Supergirl, and tell her her crisis is that she feels like she has to live up to her cousin, and she doesn't know how to be her own person.
Jesus, that would be
And
good.
and give her $200 million and just walk away. You can even feature Harley Quinn in it if you want. Like fucking go all the way.
You know what's the next thing that Greta's gonna do?
What?
Oh, she already got hired by Netflix to. They're gonna reboot Chronicles of Narnia, and she's gonna direct the first two, and then she's gonna hand it off to like next director. But she's gonna be the engineer, the architect for that series.
Wait, like it's gonna be a TV show or is it gonna be like a film series?
A series of movies. Yeah,
Oh god, that's gonna take up the next 4 years. Never mind.
yeah.
Or Warner Brothers, give her the money they pay Zalowski. She'll come along.
Yeah. Well, she has a good. I mean, this was made by Warner Brothers, so the relationship is there. They could very much do so. I like. You mentioned Elf. Let's talk about Will Ferrell. Like he plays the CEO of Mattel, and he has a room full of yes men. Who also work on Mattel and on Barbie, and they're in charge of it.
But
And
it's
I
all
like how
men.
yeah, but the funny thing is that they really care about feminism and they don't care about money. Like it is about that. Like they're kind of set up to almost look like the villains, but then they're not the villains. Like they're actually good people who just want to keep balance in the world.
Well, it's not because it's like, and I think we're giving CEOs way too much credit on that part.
Yeah.
But it's like they're the not as evil. They're almost like the parents from Get Out, where it's like if I could have voted for Obama a third time, I would have. Like they're
Yeah.
trying really hard to be like not racist or in this case like pro feminism, but they don't see like, hey, look at your boardroom. How many dicks do we have in here? 16? All right. How many women do we have in here? Zero? Okay. All right. The ratio is not right. All right. We need at most 8 dicks to 8 women. At minute. That's the minimum. But anyway, fucking yeah.
I like how I like how they even have a scene where he goes like, I am the son of a mother. I am the mother of a son. I have a female aunt. I have a Jewish friend.
I And again, Will Ferrell, this might be the funniest movie he's done in a very long time, and he's not the lead, but it's very funny, and I will give him that. Oh man, when was the last time he was actually funny?
Jesus.
Uh, shit, Daddy's Home.
I never saw those, so I don't know.
The other guys.
I
That
haven't seen that
that
either. Damn it.
you've never seen the other guys?
No,
Wow, you
I
got a
haven't.
problem. You got a problem, homie.
I know you recommended it at some point, but I saw Four Brothers instead of watching that one.
Okay, if you want a better recommendation, watch Holmes and Watson. That one's great.
Speaking of that, did you? I know that sucked.
Yeah, I was just
This,
making fun.
speaking of that, did you saw the TikTok I sent you about Nolan?
No, well, which
So
one?
there's like they're interviewing him in like some radio show, and they asked him like, hey, so you do all these serious movies and stuff, but like, what's like your relaxed movie? Like, what's the movie that you watch like if you're streaming or if you're just like chilling at home, you don't want to like pay too much attention? And he goes, I love Talladega Nights. And they're like, what the fuck, Nolan? You like Talladega Nights? And he goes, and then Nolan goes, if you're not first, you're last.
Oh my god, he's actually a human. I thought he was above us. I thought he was a philosophical like auteur who drinks
I
wine
thought
every
that
night and
too.
paints.
Like, it's really funny that this guy has no social media, no phone, no nothing. Like, he wants to like be left alone. Like, he doesn't care about lore or anything. And then he just goes like, "I love Talladega Nights. If you're not first, you're last." I'm like, motherfucker, the illusion has been broken. Anyway, I just remember that because we were talking about Will Ferrell. But
You know what I would imagine at Nolan's house? He
but
doesn't have DVDs or streaming. He only has movies in like old school 8mm film. Even new
oh
films,
god,
he converts it to like the 8mm film, so he only watches it on his old projector.
that would be so expensive.
But he can afford it.
He doesn't have that Warner Brothers money anymore.
Oh, believe me, he don't need Warner Brothers no more.
But then
Did,
again,
do
neither
you know
do the
about the
writers.
Oppenheimer deal?
Yeah, that he said, I want this much for budget, this much for marketing, like 20% of like the gross, and like
He already
he said,
has $18 million from 4 days.
but then he said that, and then he said, and for like I think like 4 weeks before and 4 weeks after, like Universal cannot release another movie.
3 weeks.
Three
Yeah.
3 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I mean, those are his demands. If that's it, that's his fuck you, pay me money. That's his fuck you, pay me money.
My
Which,
God.
by the way, I think Greta is getting to a point where she can do that now. Because look, Lady Bird and Little Women they did okay in box office. They did okay. I mean, Lady Bird was a small indie film, distributed by A24. Fun fact: Lady Bird is the highest. What's it called? It's got the highest score in Rotten Tomatoes, like compared to like how many reviews it has. It's got 99%.
Really?
There's only like one fucktard that gave it a bad review just because he hates fun.
He sounds like a douchebag.
Yeah.
Like he hates. Huh. Shit. Okay. Go Lady Bird.
Yeah. So Lady Bird has 99% based on 401 reviews. That is fucking insane. Can you imagine getting 400 people to agree on something?
I can't even get 8 people to agree on something.
Yeah. Have you ever tried to make plans with your friends?
If it's one friend, it's doable. If it's and 2 or more, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. So that was a problem. Anyway, so they get to the real world, they find Mattel. Oh, so before they leave, Barbie meets up with Weird Barbie, played by oh god, what was her name? Fucking
I can't
she's in
remember.
SNL. She's Kate McKinnon. She's in SNL. Fun fact: she and Greta Gerwig were roommates in college.
Really?
Yeah.
That explains it. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so awesome, but yeah.
Yeah, so Kate McKinnon shows up, she plays Weird Barbie. She's like the Barbie that like was played with too rough, like got her hair burned, and like yeah, all that, which immediately, like, I didn't grow up with Barbies, but I grew up with a sister that had Barbies, and like, yeah, there's always one of them, and like, yeah, and like my mom saw it, and then she told me like, oh yeah, we had one of those. We had a weird Barbie. We all had a weird Barbie. Yeah,
we
like it
call her
happens.
Junkyard Barbie.
Yeah, and so she shows up. She's great. She's really funny, and she gives her like this mission of like going to the real world and fix the relationship she has with this the girl who's playing with her. Which immediately, I like how it's set up. I like that it's fast, and I like how they set up that whole thing of like they offer her like this high heel or this Birkenstock sandal, and just goes like, which one would you choose? No, you want the sandal. Take the fucking sandal. And
I, this was a test.
yeah, this was a test. Like, yeah. So they have that, and then that sandal comes back at the end, but we'll talk about that. Yeah. So she gets to the human world. She's looking for this girl. There's this very sweet little moment where Ken goes for a walk and Barbie just like sits in a bench and just tries to like get all her thoughts together and tries to like figure out what to do. And she has this vision of the kid with like playing with her mom and with the doll, and she sees the school and she knows where to go. And then that's like the one moment of the movie where it felt like there was no studio interference, like Greta was not giving any notes, because that moment felt like how the entirety of Lady Bird feels. There's a lot of quiet and a lot of silence and a lot of introspective like thinking. And then we have like this moment where like she kind of like cries and she lets herself be sad for a second, which she hasn't felt before. And then she has this moment where she like turns to like there's this older woman just sitting there, and then she kind of turns and it kind of hits you that like for Barbie everything is pretty, everything is beautiful because that's all she knows. So she sees this older woman and her immediate thought is to just go like, you're so beautiful, because for her everything is. So like it's a really neat moment. And then it's undercut with like a little joke where like the woman going like, I know it. Like it's
Really, you didn't like it? I thought it was kind of cute.
I like it. It was a cute moment. It's just that I'll be very honest, and this is where I don't think I should go, but I'm going to because it's my job. So I like this movie. I really like this movie. Out of the 3 Greta Gerwig directed movies, it's my least favorite.
That's a stupidly high bar. That's terrifying.
I know, and you haven't even seen the other 2, right?
Oh God.
Yeah. So, not saying I dislike this movie. On the contrary, I gave this 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Spoilers, but it's just that you can tell that there's a studio who's telling her like, "Hey, make sure to include this, make sure to include that, make sure to include this." And I'm sure that also Greta was happy to have like a big budget to do something big. But I kind of craved more of those moments. The movie's kind of on fast forward. It's going really fast. It's telling you the information. It's very direct. And I'm sure it was on purpose. But I wanted a few more of those moments. There are some moments later like that in the movie, but I wanted another moment like that one. And the one that we got was good. But Lady Bird is like chock full of moments like that. And I guess I kind of wanted more of that. Not a complaint, just saying that that moment was special because it was the only moment. Yeah.
So fun, well, not so fun fact. The studio actually wanted that scene cut. That was the only scene Greta had to actually put her foot down and be like, "No, I'm fucking keeping
Makes
it."
sense. Makes sense, and I think it's a very important scene.
Yeah, but we go from a beautiful moment with Barbie, and talking to someone to sad to a kind of sad moment where Barbie essentially gets read the riot act by Sasha, the little girl who thinks was the one that was playing with her. And Sasha just fucking goes off on her in the most mean way possible, telling Barbie, you're the problem with the world. You make women feel bad about themselves. You do this. You make us all look dumb. You're just like tearing into her, this little mean little girl who needs a good talking to. I'm going to use that word.
She's a teenager. She's at that age.
That's not an excuse to be mean to people, especially people you don't fucking know.
I agree, but that's how teenagers are. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying that's how they are.
God, I was an amazing teenager. Sorry.
So here's the thing. That line, as harsh as that scene, as harsh as it is, leads to one of my favorite line deliveries in the whole movie, which is when Barbie's crying outside of the school, and she goes like, "She called me a fascist. I don't control the railways or the flow of commerce." Like,
Yeah.
I love that line so much. It's like, I don't control the railways or the flow of commerce. Oh God.
But it works.
Ugh, I love that line so much. And then I like how we get like this scene of like these black cars with like this like tough suits like just coming out and be like, "Miss Barbie, we're from Mattel." And she's like, "Mattel, the mothership, hell yeah." Like, she goes with
And I love how like no one there is like, oh, that woman in pink is getting into a black car with a bunch of guys, scary guys in suits. Nothing questionable here. But
yeah.
America Ferrera is like, nope, fuck this, and follows.
Yeah.
And while that's happening, Ken learns about the patriarchy and horses. And he's like, this is awesome. And we get just like a funny scene of him trying to, God, I can't even beach pier. Why? You guys don't patriarchy? What's patriarchy? Oh my God, this is amazing. And he goes back and tells all the Kens about the patriarchy and how to enslave the Barbies, which we'll get to that in a minute. But then we get Barbie at Mattel, and there's like what, 2-3 great moments while she's at Mattel. We get that boardroom scene with Will Ferrell. And
yeah, dude, when they give her the water and she like kind of like splashes on her face and goes like, I'm not used to that having things like,
yeah,
I'm not used to that having liquid. Like, the box, like, yeah.
But I love how when she gets put in the box and she's like, oh, okay, she's just accepting it. And then she has something that we like to call original thought. She says, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like finally, like saying something, doing something, taking herself out of the situation, like letting herself feel these certain ways, running. And she runs into essentially her creator, although we don't know it at the time, Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a conversation over tea. And you even see Barbie, like, she slurps it kind of weird because she's like, I've never done this before. It's like, that's fine, dear, don't worry. And she kind of tells her how to get out, runs into America for and we find out Barbie Land is fucking real. And we get the mother and daughter story where the mom is like, I was playing with your old Barbies because I miss you, because you're frankly a teenage bitch. And like, you don't talk to me. You don't interact with me. You're a mean little girl. And I kind of miss it when you were smaller and cuter.
Yeah. Which is a valid feeling. And I like how they this is really funny. Just a very random scene, but like when they mentioned that like that she, because they didn't mention the dad before, so I was like, oh, maybe she's like a single mom. But then they're like, oh, well, no, dad's home, he'll be fine. And then they show like her husband just sitting at home, played by America's Ferrera's actual husband, just like fucking with Duolingo for like a hot second, just like bolígrafo. Like,
hey,
so, it was such a cute little scene.
Like, he was like, that's you, because I do use Duolingo. I'm trying to get better at my Spanish. All right.
Yeah, and that's good. But he was so proud of himself, and then at the end he comes back and he goes like, "Sí se puede." Well done. Yeah. That was cute. Yeah. It was a cute moment. Yeah.
I like all this.
But yeah, so then they go. So Barbie takes America Ferrera and the daughter to Barbie Land, and little by little, they're like, the daughter's warming up. You know, she is getting like enchanted by all this. And then when they get there, first of all, before they even reveal like what's happening in Barbie Land, there's a quick little moment where like Ferrera just asks Barbie and goes like, "Where do the Kens go at night?" And she goes, "I don't know," which kind of confirms that they've never for a second even thought about it. Like, that was the first time they even considered it. Like, I don't know. Like,
which is fucked up. Like, and I love that they went there.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Barbie Land is all practical, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that there was actually a shortage of pink paint in Hollywood for 2 months because of this
Good.
film?
Good use of that.
Yeah. But yeah, so they get back to Barbie Land, and like the president is serving beer. The Mount Rushmore has horses on it. The Supreme Court has been replaced, and all the women are now these servers and beer ladies and French maids.
Yeah.
Why do you know what that is? But anyway, regardless,
It's in the books. Also, quick little scene. But so there is a mermaid Barbie played by Dua Lipa, and then there is a Ken Merman, and he's played by John fucking Cena, man. And
do indeed.
there was so before, so when they released like the pictures of Dua Lipa as like mermaid Barbie. First of all, they made this whole thing about how, so that Barbie specifically, the doll, when you put her hair in water, like her hair would change color. Like that was the whole thing. And so that's why they show like 3 of them with like different hair colors. And there was a comment that was like, her wig looks like shit. And then people were like, it's supposed to look like shit. It's supposed to look like a doll. Like that was the whole thing. And we're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I agree. But then why did they make John Cena's wig look so goddamn beautiful? Because that shit was flawless. Like those curls were wonderful. I mean,
it's Jonathan Q. Cena, ladies and gentlemen. All right, he's Peacemaker. You better make him look good.
Yeah. So we have that. The Barbie Land is no longer Barbie Land. It's gonna be Kendom.
Kendom. And they have 2 days before they ratify the Constitution to make the Kens in charge.
Yeah. So they have that. They changed everything. Now there's horses everywhere. There's beer and mini fridges and workout stuff and guitars. And everyone is having a great time except for Alan, played by Michael Cera, who's just nailed it. Like,
it was very uncomfortable.
It was Michael Cera has been professionally playing an uncomfortable person for the past, ever since he was a child and he was in Arrested Development. And he just I think he was like, next to Ken, he was probably like the most perfectly cast person in the entire movie because he was freaking wonderful.
On fucking point, all the way through.
Every line delivery that he had was great. But yeah, so we have these Kens and they're all like taking over, but they have like this very narrow-minded and very stupid perspective on what the patriarchy is. Like, it's very dumb. It's very simple. Like you can tell that it's not even coming from a place of malice. Like they just don't know. So yeah.
But I love the fact that when him and Barbie have that argument in front of people, oh, Trouble in Paradise, he makes a valid point. He's like, it sucks, doesn't it? To be treated like that, to be dismissed, to be a second thought or an afterthought, to be not cared about. It hurts, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he was right. He did steal her house. But they didn't make him a full-on villain. They more or less made him... What did they make him? They made him a Ken.
They made him a Ken.
And so Barbie becomes depressed, decides to give up. But then we get this, maybe the best scene in the film, or definitely one of the best, when America Ferrera goes on a monologue about how the world views women, but also how women view women. And I looked at Nikki and I was like, is all this true? She's like, you have no fucking clue. She's like, you have to be a boss, but not bitchy. You have to be well dressed, but not like slutty. If you have sex on the first date, you're a whore. But if you don't, you're a prude. So like all this stuff is going on, and it's just like, oh my god, it snaps Barbie out of it, and it's how they begin to snap other Barbies out of it. Is hearing this monologue about what life is, and it's almost like the real world. Like breaks your disconnect, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely like the scene that people are going to talk about a lot, and it's definitely the scene that is the more like breaking the fourth wall. Like it is telling us, like it's telling us the message like very directly. There's even a moment where like Barbie kind of like sits there and be like, "But I'm not pretty anymore. I'm ugly." And like the narrator breaks the fourth wall on purpose and just goes like, "No," to the filmmakers, like Margot Robbie's a terrible choice if you want to make this kind of point. Um, yeah, there's definitely like the scene that people are gonna leave the movie talking about, and I like how from there they devise a plan. Like, okay, we're gonna break the Kens by kind of like setting them against each other and getting the Barbies back one by one. And I like how all of it is based on things that we guys actually believe and do, because a lot of guys took offense to this scene because they
Mhm.
were like, I'm not like that. Yes, you are. It's okay. Accept it.
What part?
I also think that sitting in front of a girl and playing guitar at her while making like eye contact is gonna make her melt. Of course, I believe that. Okay, is it true? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. I think that, and I'm not the only guy that thinks that. Okay, where did you not feel called out on the scene where they were like, pretend you've never seen The Godfather and ask him to talk about it the entire time? You didn't feel called out about it because
I
it's okay if you are.
did.
It's okay if you are.
But they're such douchebags. You don't have. Oh, you've never seen The
It's
Godfather?
not.
Do you want to watch it? No, that's cool.
Yeah, but but that's the thing. A lot of guys don't. A lot of guys just love hearing themselves talk. Hence why we have this podcast. And that, I mean, it's true. It's fucking true. I am our biggest fan. Okay,
I
and
mean,
that's
I thought we
okay.
had this podcast because we're friends and we
We
want to talk about
do.
movies. But like,
We
okay,
do.
you just want to hear
We
yourself talk.
do. I I am a wonderful conversator, my friend. Like I'll wax poetics about a good cookie. And I mean, but yeah, but mostly because of that. But yeah, no, the main thing is that all of these things that they do, where they go like, pretend you never played a sport, he's gonna show you how to do it. Like all of those things, they're based on our reality that we as guys we do that, and it's not bad to accept it. Okay,
Mhm.
it's based on a reality. It's every good joke is based on something true, and I cannot get offended by something that is inherently true. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like there's bound to be like things of that nature, and I think, and people are always saying like, oh, women can take a joke. A lot of guys are offended by this scene. I mean, did you even feel called out when one of the Barbies said like, I felt like I was in a trance when all I could think about was Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then I kind of broke out of it. Like,
I was like, why? Like, what did? Why? What? Am I a part of the douchebags and I don't know it?
no, it's okay. It's okay to accept when sometimes something that we do is not as original to us as we thought. Like it is something that a lot of guys do. It's okay. Girls have those things as well, but we're not here to talk about those.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, and also you have to give balls to Warner Brothers because like Warner Brothers financed this movie and they also financed like Zack Snyder's Justice League, so it's kind of a self shot. It's okay.
It's okay to shoot yourself in the foot. Please go watch
Yeah.
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
And also, like, I'm convinced that they did The Godfather because they couldn't do like, I don't know, like Fight Club
Top
or they
Gun.
couldn't do maybe not Top Gun, but like Pulp Fiction or fucking, I don't know, what's another one? If it's not The Godfather, it's Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction, it's like Fight Club. If it's not Fight Club, it's like, I don't know, like a movie like that. And that's okay. That's fine. Like it happens. When he started playing that song on the guitar, it was Matchbox 20. I can guarantee you they wanted to use fucking Wonderwall, but they didn't because they probably Oasis wouldn't clear it. But yeah, pretty funny that like he plays the song, he plays it for like 4 hours, and then every Ken is playing the same song, and there's like one of them who's on drums. Like it's such a funny visual, man, and it's based on like a universal truth, and I think that's what makes it funny.
Oh,
I can laugh at myself. It's fine.
man.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so while they're doing all this, the Kens have a battle. The two main
Yeah.
Kens, which are stereotypical Ken and tourist
Oh, so
Ken,
it's Beach Ken
uh, tourist Ken,
and then Shang-Chi Simu Liu plays
tourist Ken.
yeah, Tourist Ken. Yeah.
And they have this like dance off where like they get all greasy, and I'm just like, oh my god, what the fuck? This movie was as close to Everything Everywhere All at Once as I think we've ever gotten since then. As far as like getting super better, and they're fighting, and then Ryan Gosling does a song, and I'm just like, I love this. I, hand to God, have probably listened to that song about 4 times in the past like 2 days.
To I'm just Ken.
And I'm enough, and I'm great at doing stuff.
Did you know that Slash from Guns N' Roses plays guitar on that song?
I'm shocked, but not surprised.
Yeah, so the Kens have a Ken off at the beach where they even mention like how are we gonna fight with the other Kens? We don't have any guns. And it's like we don't need guns. We got tennis paddles. Like they even have like that scene. They do like a whole thing, and I like that it ends. And then one of the Kents just goes up to Ryan Gosling Ken and just goes like, "Hey, were we supposed to sign the thing today?" And it's like, "We're supposed to sign the thing today, right? Yeah. We forgot about." It. And then the Barbies are like over here, just like accepts it. Like all the Barbies are like over here, like signing and winning and alive and everything.
Oh man. And then we get a great fucking scene with Barbie and Ken. Like the Barbies took back Barbie Land or whatever, and the Kens are like, but like, can we not be treated like garbage anymore? Can we have our own place? You can have a judge on the circuit court. We'll take it. We got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Even the narrator goes like, and not. And maybe just one day, the Kents will have as much power in Barbie Land as the women have in the real world.
Like they shots fired.
Shots fired, yeah.
But then we get a great scene with Ken and Barbie where they're reconciling. So almost like Ken apologizes for everything he did, and he's like, I didn't want a beach. I was tired of being ignored. I wanted to feel like a somebody. I just wanted someone to care and respect me. And Barbie's like, I'm sorry you felt that way.
No, I mean, there's like a line that really cuts. Crying in the bed, and she goes like, "It's okay to cry," and he goes, "I'm a liberated man. I know that crying's okay."
Yeah.
Yeah. But then like he stands up, and that line is pure Greta gold. Like there's a moment where like he just goes like, "I thought that one day this would be our house." Like that's, and it kind of hits you.
Yeah.
Like it hits you in that moment because it's true. Like Ken only exists as an accessory. He is no different than a handbag or a car. Like he's just Ken. Like that's what he is. And she goes like, well, you have to be your own person. Like besides that, and he goes, I don't know how. Like I don't know. I've never been that. He says this beautiful line where he goes, I only exist in the warmth of your gaze. Like,
and I was like, that's a very great line.
That's a very great line.
Outstanding.
Yeah. But that's when it hits you like, you are just Ken. Like you're not Barbie and Ken. Like you are just Ken. And that's the message that I think they're trying to give to the guys in the audience. Like, hey, you are not your girlfriend. You're not your partner. You also have to be your own person. Which I think is a very important message because I think a lot of people see marriage and love as like the end game. And they don't think, oh, I should develop myself in order to, be a good partner. They kind of only think I'll be a partner one day and that will fix everything. And it doesn't. Like if you're in a relationship, even if you're in a long-term relationship or even marriage, like there's going to be things that you're going to disagree. And the most wonderful thing is that there's going to be things that you're going to discover that are new about this person. And you kind of only discover those things if you're not around to see them. So, yeah. I think that's the message that they're trying to give to the guys. Like, hey, you're not your partner. You are more than that. be yourself, and everything else will be okay.
You have to be your own person.
You have to be your own person, because yeah, if you're with someone like 24/7, if you're become a point where you're a body with two heads instead of like two unique people, like what are you going to talk about at the end of the day? The other person was there. And yeah, and Ken had to learn that lesson. He develops that, he learns it, and he throws his foam mink to the other Kens and gets his I am Ken off sweatshirt, and we all clap because it's a cool sweatshirt.
It's funny because I remember there's a line from Rob from Comics Explained where he says, and he talks mostly about comics, but he even makes a point of like giving like advice to the audience, and he says, guys, don't be one of those people that's a nice guy and just like, why isn't she dating me? I'm so nice. Like, no, if you're a guy, be a guy worth dating, and if you're a woman, be a woman worth dating. Be individuals. Don't be those people. Be good.
Yeah.
Be individuals. But yeah, Barbie. They get to a point where it's like she wants to go back to the real world, and that's when Ruth shows up. And Will Ferrell's like, "Oh, that's the ghost of the founder. She haunts the 17th floor."
She has an office in the 17th floor.
And her and Barbie go off for a walk, and she tells her how she was created, and why, like she was meant to be like a guide or something to play with, a best friend, whatever. And Barbie tells her how she wants to go to the real world. She wants to exist. And she says, I cannot in good conscience let you go without making it very clear to you. Ideas live forever, but people, we live, but then we die.
Yeah.
And we get this sequence that I love that I'm conscientious during films. Like I don't just like get sapped in. I'm aware I'm watching a movie, so I can look around at the audience to see what's happening. And during that scene, we get a beautiful moment where we see the life of a child, of a woman, from birth to adolescence to teenager to growing up, heartbreak, marriage, becoming a mother, getting old, death. We see all that happen in this beautiful sequence to Billie Eilish's "What Was I Made For?" And I remember at that moment, I looked at Nikki and she was crying. And I looked around the theater behind me, and there was not a fucking dry eye in the entire goddamn theater. I dare you to find someone that wasn't bawling during that scene. I got misty-eyed myself, I'll be honest, because that was a beautiful scene.
Yeah. So also fun fact, all those people, they are the families of like crew members that worked on Barbie.
Really? Did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're like real people that like someone was editing the movie and was like, I have a clip of my mom hugging me as a kid. Can I use that? And Greta was like, sure, kid, why not? Like
that's
it was
beautiful.
Just like, yeah, and it's a very human moment. And Rhea Perlman plays Ruth, who's the creator of Barbie. Rhea Perlman has a long-standing history. She's like a character actress. She's been a long time, and she could pass for like the real Ruth. Like she was really good. And I like how she takes a couple of cracks at herself. Like I had a couple of issues with the IRS, but that's another movie.
Did they actually make a movie about that? I would watch that.
No, but they should.
Greta, get on it.
Yeah, that's a great like cathartic scene at the end where like Barbie lets herself like cry and feel it, and the movie afterwards ends with like her going to the real world and having like her first day outside, and it ends, I think, in the most perfect way that a movie like this can end, which is she gets a ride from Ferrera, the daughter, the husband, who's learning better English, and they wish her good luck. She gets out. She's wearing the sandals. She's wearing the
I didn't notice
sandals.
That. I did not notice that.
They're pink. They're pink. But yeah, she's wearing the Birkenstock sandals. She walks to an establishment. I didn't know where she was going into. I thought she was going to like a job application or something.
Same.
Yeah, but she like walks in and they go like they go like, how can I help you? And she goes like, I'd like to see my gynecologist. And the movie ends.
And
knocked it out of the park. I wish that every kid that went into that movie left by immediately turning to their parents, ready to ask them what a gynecologist does, and then being like, wait, why is my dad crying? Why is my mom crying?
Oh, man. And again, this movie had no fucking right to be this good. It would not have been this good if Amy Schumer was in it. I will go on record right now. I dare to say it would not have been this good if Gal Gadot was in it. Because initially, Margot Robbie was just set to produce. Gal Gadot was supposed to play Barbie, but due to scheduling conflicts, she couldn't. So Margaret was like, well, fuck it. I guess I'll take the role. Sunglasses and tote. Which, outstanding film in every capacity that you can imagine.
I mean, Margot Robbie has been giving us like non-stop good performances. Really? Like since Wolf of Wall Street to her turn in as Harley Quinn to Tanya to Babylon to Bombshell to fucking did I mention Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Babylon, Amsterdam. I'll go on record saying that one was good. Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey. Her one little scene in Asteroid City also. Like her monologue there. Yeah, she's awesome. She knocked it out of the park here. And this movie to me is like the example of you having all these elements in your movie and using them all to the best way that you can. Like this movie wasted no time, wasted no seconds. Every actor and actress is locked in. Everything about this movie works, and I cannot think of like, good job, man. Good job, Greta. Good job, everyone involved. I would happily see this again in theaters if someone like just for funsies. I mean, I watched Spider-Verse 3 times in theaters, so why not? But yeah, this is gonna be another 10 out of 10 for me. Like I had a freaking blast, and I do see it ending up in my top 10 of the year. What do you think?
We might have to crank it up to a top 15 because between this and Oppenheimer, Across the Spider-Verse, and so many other films, it is very crowded. Will this be my top 10? I can almost guarantee it. It's going to be a very tough year this year for our top 10 list, man. Like, it's going to be a hard fucking year.
Definitely. Because God, it's been so good. Like, this year so far has been so good. I cannot wait to see the rest of the year brings us. What would you score this?
A plus.
A plus.
A plus.
All right.
I highly recommend it to everybody. What about you, mate? What's your score for this one?
10 out of 10. I don't have any complaints, really. Question after this, are you interested in watching the other Greta movies or not?
Very much so.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if this film didn't get at least 2 Oscar nominations. It'll probably get costume.
Definitely.
I think it deserves editing, possibly editing.
Definitely production design, just for the sets.
Yeah. But I do think Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling should be nominated for Best Actress and Best Supporting Actor at minimum.
Yeah. Fuck it. Throw America Ferrera in there too for supporting. Like,
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I mean, she said everything that like everyone's thinking, so fuck it. Go with it. Yeah.
And nominate Greta because it was a fucking shame. It was a fucking nightmare that when she did Little Women was nominated for everything except Best Director. Fuck you, Academy, for that. Like, how could you nominate everything except the director?
Well, what came out that year? Wait, it was for Lady Bird or for Pretty Women?
No, she was nominated for Little Women. She was nominated. No, for Lady Bird she was nominated.
Oh, not Pretty Women.
Little Women.
Oh, Little Women. Sorry. Oh yeah, Pretty Woman is a different one. Yeah, it's from the 90s.
Yeah, so it got nominated for Best Picture, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Costume Design, Best Original Score. And you don't nominate her for directing? Like, fuck you, Academy.
What else was there that year?
That year, it was 2020. So it was the year of, like, Parasite, the year of Joker, the year of Ford v Ferrari, Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
All right, so I'm going to go on record here for Best Director. Let me see.
I mean, for Best Director, like, it was Parasite, Scorsese for Irishman, Joker, Todd Phillips, Sam Mendes, 1917, Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You could have squeezed her in there.
There's so
Come
much.
on.
There's so much dick in that. Oh god, I think I'm channeling my inner Fernie. I'm so sorry, everyone. You can take out Martin Scorsese for The Irishman, and I say that as someone who liked The Irishman. No, he didn't.
You can take out Todd Phillips for Joker.
Yes, you sit the fuck down. All right, I took out The Irishman. All right, you sit the fuck down.
Oh my god, no! I'm sorry. Like I think Todd Phillips is hell overrated. I don't think he deserved that.
But Joaquin Phoenix literally won the Oscar that year.
Yeah, but Joaquin Phoenix will win an Oscar if he did a Wonder Bread commercial. Like that's not. It's not.
It's not about Todd Phillips.
I don't think it was Todd Phillips at all. Yeah.
All right, then. I hope Joker Folle Dukes. I can't pronounce it. I hope that's great. It's supposed to be a musical, partially.
I hope it shuts me up. I hope it shuts me. I hope it's great. I hope it's fantastic.
I hope it breaks all the records. But yes,
it's pronounced Folie Adu.
I've always been wanting to ask people, how do you pronounce it?
I know it because it was the name of a Fall Out Boy album in like the 2000s.
Oh, you fucking would. You fucking would.
If it was an Eminem album, you would know. So that is the Barbie review. We're gonna do Oppenheimer in a few days because we're adult people with jobs, so it's hard. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember to check out the links for the actor and writer strike. It's important that we keep supporting them in any way that we can. If it's just being informed and being aware, that's half the battle. And fuck you, CEOs, pay your writers. Anything else you want to
add? No, eat the rich.
Yeah. Also, go and hug your mother if you still have one, because I mean, look at this movie.
Go tell your mom you love her if she's a good person.
Yeah. All right. So that's Barbie. That's the review. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Chema.
I've been Eddie.
And this was the Rollback. Signing off with a reminder that you are Knuff.
Bye, everyone.
All right.